Welcome back to the Eerie File, the channel where we dive deep into the darkest corners of folklore and urban legends from around the world. Today, we're taking you on a spine-tingling journey into the heart of Japan, where ancient myths and modern nightmares collide. Brace yourselves for 9 bone-chilling Japanese urban legends that will send shivers down your spine. Number 1. Our first legend is Kukisekana, the slit-mouthed woman. She's a ghostly figure with her mouth slit from ear to ear, and she asks a simple question: am I beautiful? Answer wrong, and she reveals her gruesome secret. Described as the malicious spirit, or onryo, of a woman, she partially covers her face with a mask or other item and carries a pair of scissors, a knife, or some other sharp object. She is most often described as having long, straight, black hair, pale skin, and otherwise being considered beautiful, except for her scar. She has been described as a contemporary yokai. According to popular legend, she asks potential victims if they think she is beautiful. If they respond with no, she will either kill them with her long medical scissors on the spot or wait until nightfall and murder them in their sleep. If they say yes, she will reveal that the corners of her mouth are slit from ear to ear, and she will then repeat her question. If the individual responds with no, she will kill them with her weapon, and if they say yes, hesitantly she will cut the corners of their mouth in such a way that resembles her own disfigurement. Methods that can be used to survive an encounter with Kukisekana include answering her question by describing her appearance as average, or by distracting her with money or hard candies. The Kukisekana legend has been described as dating back to the 17th to 19th centuries, during Japan's Edo period. The story experienced a resurgence of awareness in 1970s Japan, when several newspapers and magazines reported on the legend, and rumors surrounding it spread throughout the country, leading to young children being accompanied by groups of adults while walking home from school. Number 2. Next up, we have the Teek-Teek. It's said that if you encounter this vengeful spirit, you'll be chased relentlessly. With its severed upper body and sharp claws, there's no escape from its deadly pursuit. Teek-Teek is a Japanese urban legend about the ghost of a schoolgirl who is said to have fallen onto a railway line, where her body was cut in half by a train. She is an onryo, or a vengeful spirit, who lurks in urban areas and around train stations at night. Since she no longer has a lower body, she travels on her hands, dragging her upper torso and making a scratching or teek-teek-like sound, produced either by her elbows or the end of her bisected body scraping the ground. If she encounters an individual, she will chase them and slice them in half at the torso, killing them in such a way that mimics her own disfigurement. Number 3. Prepare to be creeped out by the Hashirama, or the living dolls. These cursed dolls are said to possess the souls of their creators and have been known to move on their own, seeking revenge. One contemporary legend in Japan is that of living dolls, described by American folklorist Jan Harold Brunvand as dolls that acquire independent spirits as children play with them and talk to them. If a so-called living doll is mistreated or discarded by its owner, it is said that it may seek revenge against them. An example of this legend tells of a 3-legged Likachan doll, left deformed and discarded in a public toilet after being discovered by a woman who threw it aside in disgust. The doll cursed her, causing her to lose her sanity and eventually die in a mental hospital. Number 4. Our fourth legend is the Rokurokubi, seemingly normal people by day, but at night, their necks stretched to terrifying lengths, allowing them to spy on unsuspecting victims. Sometimes, the action of the head separating from the body is seen as the soul wandering away from the body, somnambulism. In the Sorori Monogatari 1663 CE, in the chapter A Woman's Wild Thoughts Wandering Around Ana no Monin Meiruka Koto, the head separating from the body interpreted to be the woman's soul wandering while asleep. In the same book, a man saw an ukekyubi that changed into a chick and a woman's head, so he took his sword and chased the head. The head fled into a home and people said that they heard a voice from inside say, "I had a scary dream. I was chased by a man with a sword. I ran away all the way back home and then I woke up." Number 5. Ever heard of the Joragumo or binding bride? This seductive spider woman lures in her prey with beauty before ensnaring them in her deadly web, supernatural creature faced by the legendary Minamoto no Reiko. Depending on the version of the story, the Tsuchigumo was able to take the visage of either a boy or a woman. In one version, while on a search for a mythical giant skull, Reiko is lured to a dilapidated house using an illusion of a floating skull. Reiko and his companion Watanabe no Tsuna killed the Tsuchigumo at the end of the story, releasing spiders the size of children from its belly. Another Japanese mythological spider figure is the Joragumo, prostitute spider, which is portrayed as being able to transform into a seductive woman. In some instances, the Joragumo attempts to seduce and perhaps marry passing samurai. In other instances she is venerated as a goddess dwelling in the Joran Falls who saves people from drowning. Her name also refers to a golden orb spider species Trichonephila clavata, Joragumo, which translates to binding bride or whore spider. Number 6. Next, we have the Hitobashira, human pillars. It's believed that buildings in Japan were built with a living sacrifice hidden within the walls to ensure structural stability. When Shibata Katsutoyo, the nephew of Shibata Katsui, was building a castle in Maruoka, the stone wall of the castle kept collapsing no matter how many times it was piled up. There was one vassal who suggested that they should make someone a human sacrifice, Hitobashira. Oshizu, a one-eyed woman who had 2 children and lived a poor life, was selected as the Hitobashira. She resolved to become one on the condition that one of her children be made a samurai. She was buried under the central pillar of the castle keep. Soon after that the construction of the castle keep was successfully completed. But Katsutoyo was transferred to another province and her son was not made a samurai. Her spirit felt resentful and made the moat overflow with spring rain when the season of cutting algae came in April every year. People called it the rain caused by the tears of Oshizu's sorrow and erected a small tomb to soothe her spirit. There was a poem handed down, "The rain which falls when the season of cutting algae comes is the rain reminiscent of the tears of the poor Oshizu's sorrow." It has been commented that the instability of the walls of Maruoka Castle was likely caused by the design of the castle. Although built in the Momoyama period, 1575 to 1600, the design is more indicative of earlier fortresses. The steep base features random-style stone piling which is suggested as the source of instability in the walls, which may have led to the use of a human pillar during its construction. Number 7. Get ready for the Hanaprabo, faceless ghosts. These spirits appear normal until they turn to reveal a blank, featureless visage that will haunt your nightmares. This tale recounts a lazy fisherman who decided to fish in the imperial koi ponds near the Heiankyo Palace. Despite being warned by his wife about the pond being sacred and near a graveyard, the fisherman went anyway. On his way to the pond, he is warned by another fisherman not to go there, but he again ignores the warning. Once at the spot, he is met by a beautiful young woman who pleads with him not to fish in the pond. He ignores her and, to his horror, she wipes off her face. Rushing home to hide, he is confronted by what seems to be his wife, who chastises him for his wickedness before wiping off her facial features as well. Number 8. The Kawanokami, or river deities, are ancient guardians of waterways. Crossing them without proper respect can lead to misfortune and supernatural revenge. Back in the day when rivers were in flood, people would perform human sacrifice to please Kawa no Kami. However, with the introduction of Buddhism, this practice ended, leading to people using dolls made of flour or straw instead as offerings to Kawa no Kami. This is still practiced today in some parts of Japan. Number 9. Our ninth legend is Akamanto, the Red Cape. In public restrooms, this malevolent spirit offers you red or blue paper. Choose wisely, a wrong choice can lead to a gruesome fate. There you have it, 20 spine-tingling Japanese urban legends that will leave you questioning what's lurking in the shadows. If you enjoyed this journey into the eerie and unknown, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Eerie File for more bone-chilling tales from around the world. Remember, the world is a mysterious place, and the truth is often stranger than fiction. Until next time, stay curious.